actually in just a moment. So let's bring the music down. Let's do a big stretch up, breathing in.
Hmm.
And breathing out, make sure your line is muted if you're in the Zoom room, and all of you on social, if you want to be in the Zoom room, you just message us at care@saraconnell.com and we will get you the secret link to get to come in the Zoom room and be here with us with the other VIPs. You are all VIPs and you get to be in here, and we're so happy to see you today. All right, last week, if you were on the lounge, we did an exercise called the Resistance Transformer. Developed it for our Oracle Mastermind, and we looked at what the fears, the concerns, the doubts, the resistance, as Stephen Pressfield calls it, and we worked on transmuting that and turning that into an entirely new experience where we focused on the opposite of the fear, and we downloaded, it's my phone, the way I like to say it, we got inspired into new action that we could take. So who took action on that work? Those of you that are here on the show last week, put me if you took action last week that was powerful. If you actually used the transformer, if you were on, if not, you can watch the replay, and you actually looked at that column 4 and you did something with it. Like you took an action based on that resistance transformer. Again, if you weren't here, then watch the replay and use it this week. It's going to be here for you. I love this. Okay, so look at you, all of you guys here in the Zoom room. Um, you were taking action on the transformer, all right? Because we're going to build a little bit on the work from last session. And again, just watch the replay if you weren't here, okay? Because it would be great if we had weeks where there was no resistance. Has anyone had a week like that ever as a thought leader and an entrepreneur, where every single thing in every area of your life, internally and externally, felt amazing? You felt 100% confident. Everything went 100% as you hoped it would go. And it was just like, what's that? Are any Harry Potter fans here? Any of you read the Harry Potter books or read them with your, kids in your life? And they had that special, there was a special, wasn't a serum, but it was like a solution that you could drink, and it was like, felicity based. You basically, everything went your way. Okay, for this one day, you would take this magical potion and everything would go perfectly for you. Okay, so until we go to Hogwarts and mix up a bunch of that with Snape in the potions room, all right? I want to know if anyone else is going to nerd out on Harry Potter with me today. All right, I love it so much. Until that day, we are going to we are going to manage the resistance. We're going to become masterful at taking action anyway. We're going to become to the point when the resistance becomes like working out at the gym. And you're not going, oh no, there's a weight. Oh my God, it's heavy. We just go, yeah, I better strap on some weights if I want to get strong. Okay. So we have lots of things that get to go our way, lots of things, synchronicities and ease and flow gets to happen. However, there are going to be things where we're going to experience resistance internally or externally, right? And so who wants to get more masterful, more at ease, more almost like let's F and go when stuff shows up that we get to work with that doesn't seem as easy as we think, okay? I've been an entrepreneur now for, I don't know, definitely, 15 plus years, and I don't think I felt easy or comfortable for any of it. Now, have things magically happened? Have incredible miracles taken place? Have there been downloads and flow? Yes. And does it now take me only, 6 to 12 weeks to write a book instead of 3 years? Yes. And that is a great joy and gift that I want for all of you. I know you guys all in TLA, you have our system for that. Okay. And there are things, there's growth that happens, there's challenges that come up. So I want to know for this week, we're going to come at it from a different angle. We're not going to repeat what we did last week, but I want to know what's the biggest, like if this one thing could be different, everything else would start to roll better for you. Okay. Is it time? Is it finances? Is it inspiration, clarity, confidence? Like, what would be the thing if I could magic wand? I guess we're just doing a Harry Potter magic day. I don't know. If I could get my magic wand out and just start, dut, 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 right? What would be the thing that would be transformed that would let everything? Yeah, Margaret's got her magic wand. I love that. finances, enrollment, time. There's a bunch of time, finances, right? So everybody in Thought Leader Academy, we're going to be together today from 2 to 3 Eastern in the Abundance Accelerator. All right. So any of you that said finances, we have that session coming up a little bit later this afternoon. Okay. And that'll also be for enrollment and okay, pages and communication. Yeah. And we're going to do a big session on time coming up. So what I want to talk about for right now is that when we feel resistance, typically what happens is we get into the absolutely opposite state that is going to create the breakthrough. Okay. And I'm gonna ask you guys to take a little quiz with me and see if this is true for you. We're going to be doing an entire series. You're going to hear me talking about this a lot over the next 6 weeks, which is about activation, activating our state, activating our brains, activating our souls, activating our time, activating all these things. Because typically what happens is we deactivate. When we get stressed and we experience resistance, what happens is we start breathing really shallowly. Tell me if this, just do a little checklist. I'm going to go through some symptoms that I experience. I'll start to have a shallow breath, kind of anxious up here. I'm breathing fast and shallow, not deep and long. I start to have a story of overwhelm. There's too much to do. Oh my God, there's not enough time, right? So those thoughts start coming in, right? And I begin to get very high beta, which is, if you know your brain waves, right? You're getting into that beta state, sort of stressed, revved, right? And I become very reactive. I just I gotta figure out, I gotta just, let me get this written, let me get this email, right? And I'm just barreling, right? I'm kind of just like, there's sort of a revved little bit like controlling, forceful energy. Okay. So put me in the chat if any one of those symptoms comes up for you. The shallow breath, catastrophizing thoughts, worrying, feeling overwhelmed, and then just kind of like, just sort of whacking at things, sort of whack-a-mole, sort of like getting stuff done. Okay. So I'm not alone. Clenched teeth, Lisa. That's a really good one. Absolutely. The hardest thing in the moment is to actually do the most important thing, which is to reactivate our genius zone. Okay. So I'm going to be teaching a whole series on this here in the lounge and on social. And we've got a new resource coming for you guys that will go into this in more depth. But what we really want to do is activate our genius zone, activate our most resourceful thinking, activate our I am okay, sort of parasympathetic nervous system state. And it's the last thing we're going to feel like doing when we encounter resistance, because we're going to go into kind of fight, flight, freeze, and all the things that we all know go with that. All right. So who's interested in learning to do it a different way, to be able to respond to resistance like a champion, like a great leader, like a master, so that you actually will get the answers you need, the downloads, the support, the synchronicities. You'll get the intuitive nudge. You'll realize, oh, wait, there's a better way to do this. Okay, so that's what we're going to be working on over the next 6 weeks. I'm really excited about it. And those of you on social, just direct message me on Instagram the word activate, and we'll make sure to get you on the list for the new resource I'm creating, because it's going to be a roadmap to the 3-step activation sequence. All right. So those of you here in Zoom, we'll get it for you here. Okay. So how do we start to do this? Right? How do we start to do it? Well, remember last week when we did the transformer, the resistance transformer, one of the columns is to flip the fear into its opposite. Right? Remember we did that last week, right? So if you said, I don't have enough time, it becomes, I have an incredible amount of time. I engage in Einsteinian time. Actually, time stretches and opens for me. There really is more than enough. I'm focused in my time. Like, we start running a new narrative, right? That's one of the techniques we did last week. This week, the opposite of short, shallow, high rev, high beta breathing. Yeah, it's going to be to bring the breath. So let's put our hands on our belly. I want you to think of something right now that's stressing you out for this week. Let's go there first, okay? Before we shift this around, think of something specific that's stressing you out. Maybe you have a deliverable for a number of pages you're writing in your book. Maybe you have a whole bunch of emails to write. Maybe you have outreach to do to generate revenue. Like, think of something that's feeling stressful and overwhelming or hard, okay? Wave at me when you got one, or put your virtual hand up when you've got one. All right. Everyone's got something to work with. Okay. If you're feeling amazing today, just think about something that, is coming up that just feels like a big thing. It's just you're excited about it. It's just like a big project. Okay. All right. Now we're going to put our hands on the belly. Okay. And you're going to breathe so that you can actually feel, as you inhale, your stomach pushing your hands outward. Okay. Breathing. Breathing out. Just put all your you don't have to stop your thoughts. We're not controlling anything. Just bring your attention to your hands on your belly and see if you can breathe to the point that you can feel your hands pushing out, pushing your stomach, pushing out your hands. Check in with your jaw. See if you can relax your jaw. Give it a little opening movement if you need to. And then maybe start breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. You do a few more rounds of that. Maybe close your eyes if they're open. Let your shoulders drop. And now this will feel really weird, but put a big smile on your face. Doesn't matter if you feel like smiling or not. Actually, just put your face into the posture of a smile. And then take some breaths through that smile. Okay. Okay, now give your shoulders a roll. You can release the belly breath and just give yourself a scan. Do you feel any differently than you did a few minutes ago? And put in the comments or chat if you notice any difference. It's totally fine either way. This will work either way, but it's good to become present, get out of our racing mind and into our bodies. Yeah, Lisa PR feels lighter. Anna feels calm, relaxed. Bridget, beautiful. Yeah. So typically when we slow the breathing, breathe into the belly, loosen the jaw, relax the shoulders, we sort of invoke the parasympathetic. We calm down the nervous system. Now, I want you to close your eyes and just ask yourself, ask your intuition, or if you like saying your higher self, the universe, source, God, whatever is appropriate for you. We're going to take 1 minute and just listen for an intuitive nudge. Okay? What does this higher self, what does the universe recommend you do next on this particular topic or project? Okay? Just breathing. Go back into the belly breath as you do this. And you're just listening. It's fine if you don't get an answer during the minute. We're just opening the door. And put the smile back on your face if you're willing to, because I'll explain the science after. It will activate different things in your biochemistry and in your brain. You're doing great. Just ask what could someone like me do next to positively move this project forward? Okay, if anything comes to you, just make a note. If anything doesn't come to you, sometimes when I do this, I don't get an answer right away. That's totally fine. We're opening the door. You will get an answer. You will get an answer because you're activating your genius state. We're going from beta brain to alpha theta brain. Okay. We're going to intensify this now. Jill, if you will cue up and play for us just like the first half of This Is Me from The Greatest Showman, okay? This is a song I like that makes me feel happy and empowered. You'll have your own songs that you like. We're just going to use this one today. All right, so just notice how many of you got a nudge? How many of you got some kind of an idea or at least a confirmation of something you've been thinking about doing? Or just put, let me do that before we play the song. So who got just some kind of direction? I didn't get direction yet. I just got a more peaceful feeling. So I know mine's going to come. And so some of you already have some guidance coming through. Fantastic. Okay, so either way, right? Either way, you look at that. Some of you are getting really great, like inner dialogue, believing in yourself. This is the time you have everything you need. Keep going, tap in. Lisa Michelle, I love that. And Lynn, thank you for sharing. All right. So now we're going to activate our state. All right. The theme of this whole series is activation. We have to activate ourselves in order to solve problems creatively, to move through resistance and show up powerfully, to bring forth the big magic, to impact people and create financial abundance. All right. So now we're going to activate our state with the song and just see at the end, I'll guide us through the final part of what we're doing today. Okay. So we're going to just hear this little bit of the song. And if you want to stand up, you can stand up. If you want to sit, if you want to dance, if you want to sing along, whatever feels good to you. Okay, if you know the song, you might want to sing with your voice. Okay. Maybe you want to stand your feet. Big sense. Cool. Drums, your body. Snap, clap. Up. All right, let's just feel the energy of the song. Take it in through your feet, all the way up to your head. Okay. Your challenge into music. Up. All right, start to breathe. Thank you so much, Jill. Feel free to go to that song after we go. And now give yourself a scan. Does your energy feel different? Scan your body, scan your mind. Do you feel any differently than you did before we put on the music? Just check and see. May or may not. Notice. Yeah. Okay. So notice if you feel any different. And now we're going to take one more moment of listening. Okay. You're going to ask for another intuitive nudge, or if, like me, you didn't get a clear, specific one the first time, you're going to check in now. Ready, set, go. One moment of silence to get a next intuitive nudge to move your vision forward this week. What would you do if you were going to live life from the vibration of that song? What's an action you would take this week? Take a deep breath in, reach up, stretch up, give yourself a shake. Who got some kind of direction, guidance, a nudge in that round of tuning in? Yeah, that time I got a message. Okay, great. Christina, you got a reminder. Yeah. And what was interesting is mine was the reminder of the intention I set for the year, which I didn't do a word this year. I did a principle. Those of you that were on our January 4th workshop know the whole story behind that, being the person worthy of this next level of my vision. So am I doing the things and showing up in the way, being and doing as the person who is already living this next level of contribution and impact and leadership and creative genius? And so what I got in that round, just to give you an example and be transparent with you all, I got the reminder to ask that question at the top of every hour, not just every day, with each decision. Am I being the person? And so now I'm feeling what I'm aware of in this moment. I want to hear if anyone else is having this experience, is that I'm having excitement instead of some stress, right? And that's what can happen in this work. There's some excitement about what I get to create, not what I have to do, right? We get to. All right. So Amy, you can't wait to get started. Yes. Lisa Pierre got some more confirmation. Lisa Michelle, more. Okay. So I want to talk about the smiling that we did. All right. This whole series that we're going to be working on these next 6 weeks or so is about activating ourselves so that we can innovate. We have to get in an activated state with the higher mind, with our subconscious mind, with the resourcefulness, the creative genius. And that's about our brain waves, and it's about our inner dialogue. It's about all the things, right? We're going to be training on this. We then get to activate our intention, right, for the work we're going to create. We'll do that in the second part when I give you guys the resource that'll walk you through this. And then we activate to generate, right, to actually make the work that's transformational, not informational, right? So that's what we're going to be working on this series. Today was about activating ourselves so we can listen and we're not going for first thought. It won't cut it anymore. People are going to ignore it. There's a 2.9-second attention span. They're not going to pay attention to something that's just like, oh, it's like everyone else, or it's what already been done and it's here. And then we feel pressure. How do I make it unique? How do I make it whatever? It's being you. But not the stressed out, high beta, gremlin attack. It's too much. I can't. It's too hard. You, the true you, the eternal you, the genius you. Okay. So this is a powerful sort of methodology that you can use all week. You can focus on the breath. When we smile, what happens is it activates the heart brain. How many of you know that the heart has its own brain, right? Some of you have studied that. Many of you know that, right? The ganglia in the heart will react like it has its own brain. So what's so cool is that if we smile, even if there's nothing external to smile about, what happens is your reticular activating system in your brain starts going, what's she smiling about? What's he smiling about? What are they smiling about? And then what's so funny is that you're going to pull things to you that make you smile, right? Instead of waiting for the thing out there to happen and then smiling, we're going to smile and start stimulating the reticular activating system and life and your energy to start drawing to you that yummy feeling, that feeling of being proud of yourself because you showed up, that feeling of, oh, thank goodness I got that next idea. Like, Amy, I'm so excited. I can't wait to get started. So who shifted a little more from stress to excitement or happiness or positivity today? Put me in the chat. If you have noticed that there's any kind of shift, no matter how tiny, can make a big difference. Yeah. All right. So you're willing to practice that this week, that you can check your breath, right? As soon as you feel resistance, you can use the transformer from last week, but today we got more somatic. We got more quantum. All right. I like them all. Use all the tools. So you're going to put your hands on your belly and breathe. Smile. Even if you're feeling stressed, you're going to start smiling. That's alone going to change your biology and your neurology, right? You can then supersize it, right? I love that movie. Supersize it by a gratitude list or a win streak, right? And you're just going to listen. What's the highest vision for this? Listen, put on some music, jump around, dance around. If you have a pet, get on the floor with the pet for a minute and just go, oh my gosh, how could I feel stressed? Like when I look, I eye gaze with my dog. Eye gazing you can do with humans, with animals, with nature. And I do eye gazing with my dog. It's just we stare into each other's eyes and it's like, oh my gosh, it's so powerful, so deep. Like animals are incredible, children, nature, trees, right? So the whole point of this entire series, if I had to sum it up, what we're working on over these next 6 weeks, is that we're going to activate a higher state than just our normal, stressed out, limiting idea, conditioned selves. We're going to activate ourselves, others, and our work so that we create that transformation that will naturally bring in abundance. It just will, right? So all of you that wrote finances, this is the path. All right. So I want to hear before we conclude now, takeaways. What are you taking away? Maybe you just say, I'm just going to focus on smiling and breathing for a few minutes a day, right? I want to hear in the chat and the comments what you are, what is resonating with you from today that you can use this week. You will create an entirely different destiny for yourself this week by activating yourself. You absolutely can. Breathing when you feel resistance, Lauren. I know, because we want to hold our breath. I always want to hold my breath because I don't want to feel what I'm feeling. So it's crazy to think about breathing more deeply, yet it is the path to freedom and the answers and the downloads. Yes. Belly breathing and smiling, Anna. Beautiful. Daily positive experience log, Lisa PR. Love it. Fantastic. Amazing. Focus breathing more frequently, pausing to listen, Margaret. Yeah. You guys just watch the replay of this and use it if you want to until the next installment. Remember, DM me, actually for everybody, just if you would send me a DM on Instagram, it's at Sara Connell. And remember, it's Sarah without an H, 2 N's and 2 N's and Connell. Just DM me on Instagram the word activate. So we'll put you on the list to get the new resource as soon as it's finished. We're just finishing it up. All right. This is so powerful. This is the difference between you and all the people that are just going to add to the noise this year, just adding to the noise, chucking stuff out there. We're going to activate ourselves, the people we serve, and the work itself. Okay. And that's what's going to make the difference, right? Robert Frost. And that made all the difference. Don't get me started on that poem. I have a fight with my husband about it at least once a year. What it means, what he intended. All right. So I'm really excited. Remember that Wednesday, we have your $1 Million Talk Masterclass. If you aren't signed up for that, it is a free masterclass. Jill, if you could share the link. If anyone's not signed up for that yet, you can sign up. If you're in Thought Leader Academy, you'll just get the reminders to come. Okay. And if you're in Thought Leader Academy today, 2 to 3 Eastern, we will be in the Abundance Accelerator. All right. So we'll be continuing this work. You all just be coming in hot. All right. Heat-seeking missile, abundance-seeking missile. All right. So we'll be together in just a little bit. You did an awesome job today. So let's give each other some high tens, some heart hands, And this is the way. This is the way to get the answers, to get the flow, to tap in, to create something extraordinary, to get the big magic going. This is the path, this activation path that we're going to take over the next 6 weeks. Okay. I will see many of you in just a bit, and everybody hopefully on Wednesday. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.